Right now, while you are watching this, there is a number quietly working against you. It never sleeps. It does not take weekends. It does not care whether you had a good month or a terrible one. And for millions of people, it is the single reason they will work their entire lives, earn a decent living, and still end up with nothing to show for it. That number is interest. And if you are on the wrong side of it, it is the most patient thief who has ever lived. Let me show you exactly how patient. The average person who finances their cars, one after another, the way nearly everyone does now, will pay for a car almost 3 times over across their working life. Not once, almost 3 times. They will hand the price of the car to the dealer. Then, slowly, quietly, over years of little payments, they will hand the price of the car again to the bank, in interest. And then they will do it a third time in the payments they never notice, on the next car, and the next, spread so thin across so many small monthly withdrawals that they never once feel a second and a third car being lifted right out of their pocket. And here is the part that should make you angry. Nobody ever tells them the entire system is built so that the math is never done, because if the math were ever done, out loud in plain daylight, almost no one would agree to it. My name is Daiki. I am 28 years old, and in the house I grew up in, this trap simply did not exist, because of one rule my grandfather held more tightly than any other rule about money. If this channel has helped you see your own money more clearly, do me one small favor and subscribe so the next person who is stuck in this trap actually finds their way out of it. Now let me tell you about the rule and the trap it protected us from. Because once you truly see it, you cannot unsee it, and I promise you will start noticing it everywhere, on every street, in every driveway, for the rest of your life. Let me paint you a picture first, because you have met this person. Maybe this person is you. He earns good money, a solid income, more than his parents ever made. He has the newer car, the nice phone, the furniture that still smells new, the vacations that show up on everyone's feed. To the whole street, he is doing well. He is winning. And yet, if his paycheck stopped for even 1 month, the entire thing would collapse like wet paper. He has almost nothing saved. He owes on the car, he owes on the cards, he owes on the couch he is sitting on, and the phone he is holding. He is not building wealth. He is renting the appearance of wealth by the month from the people he owes, and he is one bad week away from losing all of it. He is a financial sleepwalker, and there are tens of millions of them, and the terrifying part is how normal it looks from the outside. That is the trap. Let me show you how it closes. Here is something most people never stop to realize. We do not live in a world of prices anymore. We live in a world of monthly payments. Look closely and you will see it everywhere. The car is not $30,000, it is $400 a month. The phone is not $1,200, it is $33 a month. The couch, the mattress, the vacation, the watch, none of them have prices anymore. They have payments. And that shift, that quiet little shift from what does this truly cost to what is the monthly is the most expensive trick ever played on ordinary people. Because a human being cannot feel a monthly payment. Your brain simply files it away as one more small subscription to your own life and moves on. The dealer knows this. The lender knows this. It is the whole game. So when the salesman stops telling you the price and starts gently asking how much you can afford each month, I want you to understand exactly what is happening in that moment. He is not helping you. He has stopped selling you a car. He has started selling you a debt, and the car is only the bait on the hook. My grandfather had a saying about all of this, and I want to give it to you exactly as he gave it to me, on a quiet evening when I was old enough to finally understand it. He said, "The borrower is never truly the owner of his own week." Sit with that for a moment. When you owe money, a piece of every single hour you work is already spoken for before you even open your eyes in the morning. You are not working for yourself. You are working for the lender first, and only what is left over, after he has quietly taken his share, is actually yours. A man with a car payment, and a card balance, and a loan on the very furniture he is sitting on, does not own his life. He is renting it back from the people he owes, one paycheck at a time, for years, sometimes for decades. And here is the cruelest part of all. He feels free. He has the car, the phone, the couch. He looks to everyone driving past like a man who has made it. But he has not made it. He is the most quietly trapped person on the entire street, and he does not even know the chain is there. Now here is where it gets worse. And this is the part almost nobody understands, until it is far too late. Remember the poor tax I told you about a long time ago. Debt is the poor tax in its purest, most brutal form, because interest does not merely add to what you owe, it compounds. That same magnificent force we celebrated when it was working for you, growing your savings gently while you slept, that exact same force runs perfectly in reverse the moment you owe money. It grows your debt while you sleep. Let me put a real number on it because numbers do not lie the way feelings do. Say you carry a balance of $5,000 on a credit card at the kind of rate they charge today. If you pay only the minimum they ask for, the small, comfortable, reasonable looking minimum, do you know how long it takes to clear that $5,000? Not 1 year, not 5. It can take well over a decade, and by the time you are finished, you will have paid back the 5,000 you borrowed, and then thousands more on top of it in pure interest, for the privilege of having borrowed money to buy things you have long since thrown away. And that is if you never add a single dollar more to the card. This is not an accident. The minimum payment is not the lender being kind. The minimum payment is the trap, engineered, tested, and perfected, precisely calculated to keep you paying for as long as humanly possible while feeling like you are handling it. That is why so many people feel like they are running as hard as they possibly can, and the ground keeps sliding backward beneath their feet. They are not imagining it. The math was designed deliberately to do exactly that to them. And there is a psychological trap layered right on top of the mathematical one, which is what makes this whole thing so dangerous. Payments make expensive things feel affordable, and so people buy far, far more than they ever could have with cash in hand. Think about it. No one saves up and pays cash for a car they truly cannot afford. It is impossible. The money simply is not there to hand over. But absolutely anyone can be talked into a payment on a car they cannot afford, because the payment hides the truth from them. So debt does not just cost you the interest. It quietly tricks you into buying bigger and newer and more than you ever would have otherwise on everything for years and years. That is the real bill. Not just the interest itself, but every single oversized purchase that the easy little payment made feel possible. And now the newest trap, the one they have made frictionless on purpose, is the button at the checkout that splits any purchase into 4 easy payments. A pair of shoes, a dinner. They have made it possible to go into debt for a sandwich and to feel absolutely nothing while doing it. That is not convenience. That is the same ancient trap, polished until it is invisible. Let me be straight with you, the way I promised you long ago I always would. My family were not people who feared money, or hid from the modern world, or thought all borrowing was evil. My grandfather was not against every kind of debt, and neither am I, because that would be foolish advice, and I refuse to give you foolish advice. So let me draw the line exactly where he drew it, because telling these two things apart is one of the most valuable skills you will ever learn in your entire life. The first kind of debt is a chain. This is debt for things that lose their value the moment you own them, and give you nothing back in return. The finance car that is worth less every year you drive it. The credit card balance for dinners you have already eaten and forgotten the taste of. The loan for the furniture, the vacation, the gadget, the clothes. This kind of debt takes something that is already shrinking in value and straps a compounding interest rate on top of it, so that you pay more and more, for years, for something worth less and less. There is no version of this that ends with you ahead. This is the chain, and my grandfather's rule about it was absolute, no exceptions, no clever arguments. You do not wear it. If you cannot buy the thing outright, then you cannot yet afford the thing. And the friendly little payment does not change that truth. It only hides it from you until the bill comes due. The second kind, and this is the exception, the single exception he allowed in 50 years of his life, is a tool. Debt becomes a tool, and only a tool, when you borrow to own something that is genuinely likely to grow in value or to earn you money faster than the interest costs you. A modest home you will live in for decades, bought carefully, well within your means, not to impress anyone. Borrowing to build something real that puts actual money back into your hands. That is not a chain, because the thing you bought is working for you, harder than the interest is working against you. But notice how incredibly narrow that doorway is. It is not the new car. It is not the bigger house than you need to make the neighbors wonder. It is not the loan for the shiny thing you simply want today and will be bored of by spring. The tool is rare, and it is boring, and it is almost never the thing the salesman is smiling and trying to hand you. So here is my honest rule for you. When you are in any doubt at all, treat it as a chain. You will be right almost every single time. And I will tell you the one time my grandfather broke his own rule, because it taught me everything I know about this. He borrowed a small amount, once, to buy the tools of his trade. Not a car, not comfort. Not to impress a soul. The instruments that would let him earn a living for the next 30 years of his life. And here's how he treated even that. He paid it back as fast as a human being possibly could. He hated every single day that he owed it. He kept the amount as small as it could be, and when it was gone, he never borrowed again. Not once. For the rest of his life. That is the entire picture of good debt. A tool rare, small, used only for something that earns, and escaped as fast as your two hands can carry you out. Everything else, everything, is a chain, and the person wearing it usually cannot even feel it. So, what do you actually do if you are already caught in this? Because many of you watching are right now, and I am not here to shame you, not even a little. The trap was built by professionals over decades, and you were never once taught the game they were playing. So here's the way out, and it is far simpler than the entire industry wants you to believe. First, you stop adding new chains. Today, not next month, not after this one last purchase. Today, the very first rule of climbing out of a hole is to stop digging it deeper. Go straight back to the 30-day shelf I taught you, and let every new want sit there and wait, because I promise you almost none of them are worth a brand new chain around your life. Second, you remember the payday ritual. When your pay lands, after your own small share and a tiny emergency cushion to keep one bad week from undoing everything, the cruel high interest debt gets attacked with everything you can possibly spare. Before the bills get comfortable, before the wants ever get fed. And here is the exact method, because it matters. You line up every debt you have. You keep the minimum payment alive on all of them so none go into default. But every extra dollar, every single one, you throw at the one with the ugliest, cruelest interest rate first. The worst card first. The payday loan first. You ignore the size of the balance and you hunt the rate, because the rate is the thief. You pour everything onto that one enemy until it dies. And on the day it dies, you do not celebrate by spending. You take every dollar you were throwing at that dead debt, and you pour all of it onto the next ugliest one. And now you are paying that one down even faster than the first. One by one, they fall. It is slow at the beginning, painfully slow, and then quite suddenly, it is not slow at all. It becomes an avalanche moving in your favor. And the day the very last one dies, the day you owe not one person on this earth a single dollar, is the day you will remember for the rest of your life. Because for the first time in years, maybe for the first time ever, every hour you work will belong entirely to you again. And that, in the very end, is the whole point of all of this. It was never really about interest rates, or cars, or credit cards, or clever tricks. It was about ownership. My grandfather did not refuse debt because he was cheap, or fearful, or behind the times. He refused it because he understood in his bones that the borrower is never truly free, and he valued his freedom far more than he valued looking wealthy to people who, in truth, were not paying attention to him anyway. He drove the old car with pride. He waited patiently for the things he wanted, and paid cash and owned them completely. Every single thing inside his home was his, outright, free and clear, owned. And because of that, he owned something the man with the shining financed car on the next street never once owned in his entire life. He owned his time, he owned his choices, he owned his sleep. So here's what I want you to do this week. Take one honest look at the truth. Sit down and write down every single debt you carry. All of it. The card, the loans, the buy now, pay later, the little payments you have half forgotten are even there. Write them all down on one page, in your own hand, the way we write everything in this family. Most people are quietly terrified to do this, to see the whole number in one place, which is precisely why you must. You cannot escape a trap you refuse to even look at. See the whole of it in your own handwriting, and then circle the one with the cruelest rate. That one is your enemy. That is exactly where the war begins. That is how my grandfather did it. That is how my father did it. And it is still how it is done, in any home that remembers. So tell me, in the comments, what is the one debt you would give almost anything to be free of? Naming it out loud is the first real step, and I read every single one of them. And next time, I will tell you why my grandfather never fully trusted a bank with all of his money. Even a good bank, even in good times. There was an exact amount he said you should never keep in one, and a quiet reason behind it that has nothing to do with fear and everything to do with a hard lesson his own father learned in a year the whole world would rather forget. It changed the way I keep my own money to this very day. I will see you then.